What is this? I think the car probably got a little dirty compared to before. Hello everybody, my name is Abdul Majid Liban. So I actually don't have my mic currently on the camera, so I'll see how good my voice is. But so I'm currently rushing somewhere. I'm actually heading towards, well, I'm gonna tell you guys quickly about an organization called CAIR, C-A-I-R. Many of you guys watching this probably know of them, but the few who don't, it stands for the Council on American-Islamic Relations, and it's pretty much like a Muslim advocacy organization. And they have like divisions like throughout the country. I live here in Columbus, Ohio, so there's a Columbus branch. And today they're actually doing their annual banquet, which is like a fundraising dinner. So I'm actually heading there, but I'm a little late, so I'm gonna rush. So, you know, they pretty much fight for the rights of like many different groups. They've actually helped even my family before. So for example, one time my older brother, he and like a number of Muslim fellow co-workers, you know, the area they were employed, they're actually having issues like with their prayer, because in Islam you pray like 5 times a day, but the prayers aren't that long. It's just like a 5-minute, you know, break or something. But their place of like their employee area was pretty much like against it. So CAIR stepped in, and him and like many of the like fellow Muslim co-workers, you know, they were able to pretty much bring that up. So they do things like that throughout like the country, like pretty much fighting for the basic rights of Muslims and, you know, other individuals. So really good organization. I 100% support them. And if you're watching my organization, like if you're watching this and you've never heard of them, I would say Google it, C-A-I-R, CAIR. And if they can help you, contact them. Or, you know, maybe you're a student like me, you can intern with them, you can volunteer with them. Or if you don't have the time, you can always donate if you're like a professional. So let's check it out. Let's check out CAIR. Seeing how it is a like fundraiser, you know, they pretty much like enter the event. There are tickets that are being sold, but I am going through there without having to pay for anything, because so there's a student organization on my campus called the Muslim Student Association, MSA. I'm involved through a couple of the committees, and you know, the MSA does have a table over there. And a friend of mine told me that there is like an extra, like they had like an extra ticket, and I think it's because it's currently like spring break, and some of the students who were probably really gonna go are probably just gone for break. Either way, there was one more ticket. He asked me, he was like, "Hey, do you want to come?" And I said, "Yeah, you know, I'm still in Columbus. I live here, all right." So I decided to check it out, and I'll show you guys, you know, the event. So we're pretty much heading towards campus at the moment. So there's the Union, which means we've just arrived. Okay, so we're officially here. So I got everything. I even put the mic on, so my voice should be a little bit better. It's actually windy a bit, but I got this mic right here, so hopefully the audio should be good. Okay, so I actually have a friend right now who's transferring to OSU, and he asked me the other day about like, well, not the other day, he asked me a while back about the law school. So there's like a parking here in front of the law school. The law school is actually this building right here. It's called Mort's, and I'll show you the front in a second, but here's where the law school is. So what's it called? Mohammed, who is seeing this right now, you can see how it looks like before you get here. So that building right there is the Ohio Union. And this right here is the law school, so there's Mort's. I don't know why I always use these, even though I'm not handicapped whatsoever. It seems like the voice is coming from over there. So I thought it was in there, but it looks like it's not. but I think I hear voices coming from upstairs, so I might be on the second floor actually. Yep, so it's actually, you can see it right there.
In basically a hate crime, because they beat up this whole family. It was a Muslim Somali family, and they beat them up very badly, and the child lost her eyes. So it took 3 months for us to call them, and the family contacted us for them to even start an investigation. We had a child, a Muslim child, receive threatening messages after another child in that school lost his life. We don't know why, but a child lost his life, and then another child in that school got threatening messages from somebody else in school which said that you're next, right? So a child dies, and then another child receives a message saying you're next. Family contacts us because they called up the police and they told them this is what's going on, and for 2 weeks they did nothing. In fact, they did not even take a police report. When the family called them, they said, well, there is a homicide investigation for the child who died, and this, by the way, is in blackleg, so we don't need to take a report. And that's why this family called us. So when we talk about 289 people calling us, even if they do not result in a case, these are people who call us because they had nobody else to call, and what's happening to them is not fair. What's happened, they're getting no justice. And that is why they ultimately called us, and we try to help these people.
We are completely enamored with the fact that our interfaith partners, people of faith and different faith and no faith, actually participate in our activities. And I want to acknowledge you tonight by asking you to stand up just to be recognized so that we can show you our gratitude. If you're in the room tonight of a different faith, of no faith, of serving the community in terms of political office and outside, if you will, whatever else you're doing to help us, if you can please stand up just for a minute so we can acknowledge you. The support means a lot to us, and we want to make sure that we express gratitude to you. As the
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا رسول الله سيد الأولين والآخرين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We praise God Almighty. We sing peace and blessings upon our beloved Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon his family, his companions, and those who follow him until the end of time. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. It's great to be in Ohio. Alhamdulillah, I have a lot of relationships in this area.
20 minutes later.
So brothers and sisters, I believe that God is good. It's a fundamental principle. إن الله تعالى طيب لا يقبل إلا طيبة. And I believe like our community is really a ball of awesome. I deal with young people. I work at NYU in Manhattan. Tomorrow we're going to spend a week with Iman in Chicago with 15 college students who were like, you know what, who needs spring break, man? Let me go learn about the problem of recidivity. MashaAllah, man, that's amazing. That's prophetic. Let me go learn and see how I can bring back healthy food options in the underserved neighborhoods that I live in New York City for a week. Let me go and learn about how I can organize around causes the way that Iman has in Chicago. I mean, mashallah, to give up, the Florida Keys for Iman is definitely a testimony of faith, mashallah. Especially if you're like 17, 18, 19 years old. But as a reminder that we have to be consistent in our centering, honest in our non-negotiables, forgiving in our negotiables, and then really support the defense of our community in the face of an aggressive law, and in the face of aggressive policies which have big impact and condition us into being quiet and not being engaged. CAIR has been doing that since the early 90s. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless you. Ohio, do you have any major elections in 2018? Anything important? 2018? We need Ohio to stand up. 2020? MashaAllah, will the real Ohio please stand up? Right, we need the real Ohio to really stand up. And I want to encourage you to support the great work that CAIR is doing. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum.
Hello everybody. So I went to that CAIR dinner on Sunday, I believe, or maybe it was Saturday. It was during the weekend. I think it was Sunday. But yeah, now today's Wednesday, so I waited like a couple of days to like pretty much really edit the thing. Yeah, so I'm editing at the moment. Here's my laptop. But what I've noticed is I technically don't have like a conclusion, so I just want to like do a final thought real quick. So final thought is that overall I really did enjoy attending the CAIR banquet. I'd highly recommend it for others to attend in the future and support the organization. I think I'll pretty much see myself doing things like this throughout this channel, which is pretty much me vlogging my experiences, you know, showing you guys different organizations that I care about that I think are important. Today was CAIR, and I'll talk to you guys about other organizations. Other things in my life that are relevant to me that I'll talk about is, number one, entrepreneurship. So on my YouTube channel, and I'll start a Facebook page as well. I started the YouTube last year, and I did a whopping like 2 videos, because that's what committed people do. You do 2 videos. But the reason why I did is because I was like, it was during the summer, I was going to launch it like a business, and what I wanted to do was pretty much vlog the experience, because like it's free, right? There's like almost no barrier to entrance besides like a camera, and then you get like massive return in the sense that like you get free publicity, free media, marketing, all that stuff. So I think everybody should be marketing. And I think a lot of people are underestimating, although nowadays I think more people understand like the importance of like just the digital age. Just the other day, like recently, Will Smith actually started vlogging, and that was like crazy, right? But it's actually not that crazy when you actually look at the numbers, and you see how like, you know, TV is dying, or it's been dying, and you know, the digital age is really where things are at. What I'll be talking about, like I said, is entrepreneurship, because so last year I did work on a parking app, right, with a friend. We worked on it from May. Well, I was working on it from like May until like December-ish, and during the time I did have some success. We launched the website, we helped a couple people find parking, because OSU, the thing is, parking is always difficult, but especially during game days, because we have a world-renowned like football team. I think Forbes said it was literally like the most like expensive, or the most like money generating, or the most, what's the word, valuable college football team. So it's a big deal here. So we helped some folk find parking, but overall, you know, we didn't accomplish like the grand mission that I wanted us to accomplish. And you know, I had other issues like burnout, you know, running out of money at a certain point, a couple of different challenges. So who knows, I might go back to it in the future. But the thing about entrepreneurship is, at least when you have that mindset, you recognize there's a ton of problems in the world, and then there's always problems to be tackled. So pretty much every week, like one of the ways I got fortunate is through my network. I'm pretty much now in a position where every single week I literally meet up with a startup founder, a CEO, an investor, a professor from like the business law school or some other like expertise. I meet them through this like entrepreneurship program I'm part of. So after doing that for about 1.5 years, like what have I learned? I've learned a ton, and I'm going to start sharing those things with you. I think the other thing I'd quickly want to mention that I think I could provide some value with and can talk about authentically is pretty much just my experience as, like, when I think about my identity, you know, I'm a Muslim, I'm Somali, I'm an immigrant, and we actually immigrated here as refugees. And I mention that because in 2018 that actually matters, because when my family came here in 1998, that identity was not an issue. But now in 2018, there's literally like a Muslim ban, right? And, you know, I just saw the ban's been about here for about like a year or so now. And, you know, I was just actually looking at a clip from like a recent news clip from like when it first was launched, and things really haven't changed as much since then.
I'm establishing new vetting to keep radical Islamic terrorists out of the United States of America. We don't want them here.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
This protest, I have to point out, has really grown in size. Hundreds of people out here peacefully protesting.
No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate, no fear. Muslims are welcome here. We will not turn away children. We will not turn away children. We will not turn away families. We will not turn away families. No bans, no walls.
But it's really interesting how we do live in this country where, you know, we value racial equality, supposedly religious equality, but then when I think of like my relatives who are in one of the countries that's currently banned, I recognize they're not able to come here because they're not the right race due to their national origin. They're also not the right religion because they're Muslim, and that just shows the nation what it preaches and what it's practicing not meeting up or not matching. And that's actually one of the things that the speaker talked about, Suhaib, and I think I'll post the full lecture in the future, where he talked about how, you know, throughout the nation's history, people have had challenges, but one of the, I guess you could say, the motivating things is that throughout that time, there have been people that stepped up and have challenged the system and have made the nation better. And I really can't help but think that the Muslim community at the moment, refugees, others that are being banned, things of that nature that people are skeptical of, I think they're reminding this country of its founding principles and that it's not living up to it. And I think through this, you know, hopefully the nation can come out even better than before. So I'll definitely comment on that, like some of like the stereotypes or the misconceptions that I've been hearing about refugees, Muslims, things of that nature. A lot of these things, like especially online, it's like things that are easily debunkable. But again, I think a lot of people fall into it just because they don't see people from that particular background. Yeah, so that's one of the things I'll talk about. But other things as well, like my health. You know, that's one of the things I've been focusing more on recently. Like, I actually fixed up my diet for the past couple of weeks, like 2 weeks or so, but then actually ruined it recently. Like, that's a whole other story. I'll talk about dieting and health and things like that. So, I think I'm ranting at this point, so I'm just going to end this. I'll see you guys next time.